Web.
Yeah, sorry. Welcome back, everyone, to the Lighting Controls Podcast, here live in Boston at Boston Lights by the DLF New England. Right now, we've got Bill with us, Bill from Illuminate.
Hello.
Welcome to the show. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
You're
Appreciate
also
it.
on the DLF board.
I am a DLF board member. I've been with Illuminate for almost 20 years and worked for Lutron Electronics directly for 5 before that.
Right. No, I mean,
lots of lighting controls.
For sure. You've been in the industry for a long time. You've seen a lot of ups and downs.
I have.
When it comes to lighting controls, like, where are we right now in the industry? Like, what are you seeing?
I'm excited. It's a different time. I mean,
sure.
We've all been talking about color tuning for years, and it's never been obtainable, right? Because it's always been too expensive.
Right.
But as more and more controls move into the fixtures, and technologies like Dolly Type 2, Type 8 drivers come into the mix, we can get to that color tuning at the same cost of standard 0 to 10 or anything. So in the past where it was prohibitive, now it's becoming easy to do and affordable to do. And I think within 2 or 3 years, that's going to be the standard. Everyone's going to expect it on every job.
Right. No, and I think that's a really good point because of the fact that we have so much more data going on. We're really more leaning towards a digital platform for communication. And so with Dolly and D4I compliance, we're really seeing that kind of synergy take advantage. Absolutely. And so Lutron being one of the heavy hitters in the industry, if not the Kleenex of the industry.
we like that. We try to keep our heads small, but it somehow it fit into the headset.
So are you seeing more widespread adoption of Dolly with Lutron systems?
I really am. I mean, Lutron has the new Athena wireless node, and it can go into a 0 to 10 or a Dolly driver, but it needs an auxiliary power supply.
Right.
So a lot of the manufacturers just go for the Dolly driver anyway.
Right.
So it's almost getting that color tuning at no extra charge.
Sure.
And then you don't run it back to a relay panel or anything because it just lives in the fixture. Again, that in-fixture technology and the wireless technology is allowing these things to be more affordable.
Right.
I mean, it's not for every fixture. It's not for every type. You still got your decoratives. You got this. You got exterior. You got different things and different technologies to pull it all together. But for some of the basics, you can make a lot of good things happen at a much more affordable price.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, a lot of times, like with that new Athena wireless node, we actually have a sensor that's built right into it. So now you can have a wired aux sensor, a wired fixture. Because, with wireless technology it was great, but after a few years, people are kind of a little wary on the batteries, right?
Right.
Although they do last 10 years and they're great, but some people don't want them. So if you go in fixture with an aux that's wired to the fixture, you don't have a battery.
Totally.
You have less devices, no relay. I mean, and I've been saying it for years because, as we mentioned, we dated me, and I've been doing this for a while. But lighting controls are like computers. They get better and faster. More bells and whistles and less expensive at the same time.
Right.
Yeah. So it makes it tough for us reps. We got to sell more stuff.
Yep.
But more stuff gets adopted all over the place, and every job is more and more lighting controls, both commercially and residentially, and it's exciting times. I just see a lot more adoption of the newer technologies.
Well, you mentioned like the decorative fixtures, right? And as everything is LED now, right? So inherently, the LED is looking for a digital source to drive that. To drive the actual LEDs themselves. So what is it going to take to get some of these other manufacturers, not from the control side, but from the fixture manufacturers, to stop putting 0 to 10 into some of those ancillary fixtures and just take that next step to a digital driver? Because at that point, if everyone starts heading down that road, the cost is still going to come down anyway, right? True. We don't have to settle for these specialty fixtures only being analog dimming.
You're singing. I hear you. I wish I knew the answer to that. 0 to 10's tough. It's a tough topology, but.
Well, and I mean, the thing that I always say is, like, if you've wired up a 0 to 10 volt system, you're actually wired up a more complex system than Dolly.
Absolutely, and because you could mess it up.
Right.
Polarity, mess it up.
Exactly. Whereas
on the line,
so long as you don't have aux or bus power being provided by a single device, you can flip that polarity around. So
you can get voltage drop.
Right. Well, and again, like what we're seeing with triple LC embedded controls in the fixtures, everybody seems to have their device that allows that accessibility now. So long as D4I adoption happens, we're going to see this much more taking place and taking that market share.
Yeah, and it's exciting because it's just a better quality of light. to dim it, to have the color change when you're dimming it to a warmer color, like an incandescent or like the sun that we're used to.
Yep.
Because when you dim, something that's up in the 4500s or, and it just gets gray.
Yep.
And it flattens out the whole design where you want everything to pop. You want light to enhance your projects and to control it the right way and to layer it. That's what it's about.
So curious if you can help some people. Some people still get very confused about the difference between tunable white and warm dim. Do you mind shedding a little bit of light on that subject?
Like, what do you mean? I would say, all right, well, tunable white would be to just kind of take your fixture and go through the different Kelvin temperatures, right? 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, and be able to control it. Where warm dim would be, as you dim that fixture, it warms as it dims.
Right.
So that would be
following
the
that
difference.
Incandescent dimming.
Yeah, I would say color tuning is just taking care of the colors, but warm dimming is actually dimming it. It's funny because it reminds me of a little analogy that I like to use.
Sure.
For color tuning and intensity, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we were little, when I was little, you weren't quite born. You guys weren't born, but anyways, you might remember. Do you remember the Erector sets?
Oh yeah.
Right. You had the two things. Have you ever tried to draw a straight line on an Erector set?
Oh, an Etch-a-Sketch, you mean?
Etch-a-Sketch, not a Erector set. The Etch-a-Sketch, right, with the two dials?
Yeah.
Ever try to draw a straight line?
Yeah.
That's why you need a system.
Mm-hmm.
Because to dim and to color tune and warm dim at the same time, it's like working the Etch-a-Sketch.
Yep.
And you've seen it. It goes like
yeah.
But if you have a nice processor like Athena or Homeworks or anything, you get that perfect line and that perfect color.
Yep.
But without a processor, if you got somebody, because I always fight with a lot of specifiers. What do you control? Because they're like, oh, I want to put a control for color. I want to put a control for intensity. I'm like, no, let something, let the color tuning, right?
Yeah.
Or let the warm dim,
feature
do its own thing during the day. And then you control it wherever it is. But don't give the people control of that color.
Yeah.
Right.
Make it natural and just give them the control of the intensity.
No, and I think that's a really good point with how we control color and intensity. And I love that analogy of the Etch-a-Sketch.
Yeah. And you mentioned voltage drop. And I think this is one thing people don't think about a lot. They think, oh, it's 0 to 10. It's so easy. You take a ballroom like this that we're in, and if you have a fixture here that's 10 feet away from us and another one that's 200 feet away from us, you're sending the same control signal, right? If they're wired in series, you're sending they're on the same line, you're sending the same control signal.
Yep.
But that light is not going to be the same color as this light.
Right.
And it gets worse over time.
Right. Well, and so I mean, because we're relying on that voltage as a signal as opposed to having digitally coded messages.
Right. Digital is always better than analog.
Right. Well, and
always has been.
Surprise to a lot of people, maybe Lutron has always been in the digital game.
Absolutely. Yeah, the Athena wireless node is basically just a wireless version of the ecosystem ballasts and drivers that they made years ago.
Right.
It's the same thing, just no more wire, which is great.
And if you don't mind just explaining, because I feel like, Lutron has kind of gone through an evolution.
Yeah.
Athena took place of a different system. And so now how does the ecosystem look now with Lutron?
Interesting. All right, right now we basically have 3 core products. Yeah. There's Vive, which in my opinion is energy efficient, code compliant lighting control, all wireless, all localized. We had a system called, and we still do, Quantum. Mm-hmm. And Quantum is all the bells and whistles. It's panel based, it's processor driven, and it actually has a front end PC. Mm-hmm. And it can do anything you can think of. We could do panels, main lug panels, we could do any type of keypad, all types of stuff. And then what we've done is we've moved to the Athena platform, which is a little less simple than Quantum, but it has many of the same features. The big difference between Athena and Quantum is it's no longer processor-based, it's cloud-based.
Gotcha.
Because what would happen is after many, many years, the PC would get a little out of date, they'd do a little upgrade on their lighting control systems, and then they would get a little bit mad. So now it's all lives out in the cloud, and everything works great. And over the next few years, some of the really cool product features that are available at Vive, the wireless stuff, will ultimately move into that Athena platform.
Nice.
Where Athena is sort of the bells and whistles that they focus most of the R&D on that. So again, we have the Athena wireless node now, the lighting designer app to control all that. We have the Ketra fixtures that all fold right into Athena, and the new Sonata dimmers, which are wireless dimmers. Like in the past, when I would do a restaurant or a church in a renovation setting, I would go back to maybe a residential type product like a radio rod, which is localized RF dimmers. Now I have the Sonata dimmer inside Athena, so everything that I used to go to other product platforms are, now I can pretty much do an Athena. So it's all coming together.
So yeah, so ultimately Athena is going to kind of be a more go-to.
Yep. Quantum will still have its place for big campuses, convention halls, massive places where you really need to have that huge control. But Athena is the future and where they're heading everything to.
Awesome. Very cool. Yeah. And because overall we're seeing more decentralized systems in general, right?
Yes.
So even in those larger environments, we're still seeing people moving away from, especially in new construction, right? When you get into retrofits, sure, you're still going to replace panels. You're still going to get into that. But in a lot of newer construction, you're seeing people kind of getting away from that as everything's going digital. We're able to put drivers into the fixtures. There's no reason to have the electricians wiring up these extra panels and running all of that cable when they can run the one circuit that now runs, 50 fixtures, but you've individually controlled them all.
Absolutely. You need less circuits because you can break it up independent of the circuit. That was the big thing with ecosystem, zone independent of the circuit. And with Ketra and with AWN, it's the same thing. So it just allows a lot more simple, a lot more flexibility. And we do see it a lot in new construction. And you're right, everything's becoming more modular where we'll put, little panels in different closets and kind of link them all digitally instead of running them all back to one closet where we would have big, massive panels.
Well, electrical rooms just don't have the space anymore.
No, they give me no space. No space.
Bill, thank you so much. Really appreciate you coming on.
Stuff. Thank you.
And
always
everybody, thank you for tuning in to the live stream.
Thanks, everybody.
Here. Please come down to Boston Lights if you're going to come in. And what's your booth?
Booth is the Lutron booth in the Illuminate Hall. I don't know the number.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
But it's right over there.
Come find us. We'll show you the way.
You can't miss it. All right. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.